cold water. Where's Mark? It's 6 o'clock. What you eating?
The one you start pouring.
Let's go a little traditional.
She wants it to be a little bit more Christmas, away from kid likes.
Right.
Much
So,
that would be the most kid like.
oh no, I could do better kid ones. Mato. Okay, we can do. Oh, you're gonna miss it. I know. You'll get your fix now and then, Miss Quitter. This is my latest find for my $3 shirts.
Where?
This is my Robert. It's another Robert Graham.
Where'd you get it?
I love my good bits. Oh, are we ready? Okay, I won't call you out for that. Okay. This.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We are so glad to welcome you here on this last Shabbat and last day of July. We are moving through the summer here, and we are glad that you chose to come here and make welcoming Shabbat part of your weekend. We're going to begin our service, as we always do, with words of welcome, welcoming each other, and perhaps also welcoming ourselves to this space as we settle in and find our intention as we begin Shabbat. We'll sing together, Hine Matov.
Hine Matovu Manayim Sheberachim Gam Yachad Hine Matovu Manayim Sheberachim Gam Yachad Hine Matovu Manayim Sheberachim Gam Yachad Sheberachim Gam Yachad Hine Matov U'Manayim Sheberachim Gam Yachad Hine Matov U'Manayim Sheberachim Gam Yachad Tohu Manayim Sheberachim Gam Yachad Hine Tohu Manayim Sheberachim Gam Yachad Sheberachim Gam Yachad.
We're going to continue singing together in welcome with Shiru Ladonai. May we sing a new song this Shabbat.
Shiru Ladonai Kol haaretz Shiru Ladonai Shir hadash
Shalom Alechem is a really interesting and special prayer because it comes from our mystical tradition and the idea that we are welcoming angels on Shabbat. Maybe we take that literally, or maybe we consider adding some extra sacredness, some extra divinity. We welcome angels, or whatever that may mean to us, into our midst as we sing this beautiful melody, Shalom Alechem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachei Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei
We just welcomed our angels to our midst, and now we'll take a moment to welcome each other in our midst. We'll say Shabbat Shalom. Feel free to turn to the folks next to you, someone you know, maybe even better, someone who you don't know. We'll introduce each other and say Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue with the lighting of candles, welcoming hope and light and warmth into our midst. And I'm happy to invite Mindy and Arlene and Sarah and Jacob. Or not Jacob. Any assorted Egg and Naamans, whoever would like to come light the Shabbat candles, are more than welcome to. Let's read together. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. We'll continue in singing Lecha Dodi.
La la la, la la la, la la la.
If you are able, please rise and face the entrance. We're going to remain standing if we're able and continue with Hatzi Kaddish.
Yikadaha v'yikadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
Ramadi v'rachirutei v'yamlik mahutei.
B'chayechon u'vyomechon ובחיי דהו בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, יתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, יתהדר ויתעלה, יתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, ואילון מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן לעלמה, ואמרו אמן. You may be seated. And as we've officially had our call to prayer, we've officially welcomed Shabbat. Perhaps we can think about how we can make sure that these next 24 hours we can really soak in everything that we feel we need, whether it's strength, hope, rest, maybe something else, and make sure we don't fall into the same routine that perhaps we experience each week. So with that in mind, let's read together this beautiful poem by Leah Goldberg, Teach Me, in the English. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. And we'll continue turning our attention to the bringing on of evening with Ma'ariv Aravim. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which the time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai ha-ma'ariv aravim. I'll invite you, if you're able, to stand once again for just a moment as we sing together Shema, declaring God's oneness that connects each of us and all living things. Shema. Adonai, seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We'll continue singing together with Micha Mocha, meditating perhaps on what freedom means to us now. Maybe it's the freedom of summer. Maybe it means something else to you, and whatever you may be going through as we welcome Shabbat this evening. But either way, we'll draw upon that gratitude and joy that our ancestors experienced as they walked through the sea of reeds into freedom with Micha Mocha. Head into Hashkivenu, where we ask that God spread a Sukkat Shalom, a shelter of peace over us. But as we may be remembering as we get near to fall, a sukkah is not an enclosed space. We can get wind and rain, and maybe it's too hot. So we know that we are vulnerable. We know that as we are all on whatever journeys we may be on, we need a moment for some shelter. We need some moment to pause and to take in where we are and maybe just rest and let that be okay. Whatever moment we are in, whatever we are feeling, I believe Shabbat is a moment of come as you are, come how you are, and you're here, and we're glad to have you, and that's all right. That's exactly where you should be. That can be our Sukkat Shalom. Even if we're not feeling completely shalem, completely whole, we can just meet ourselves exactly as we are this evening, and that's where we should be. So let's continue with Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu,
going to continue with our Amidah prayers, beginning with Adonai Sifatai. I invite you, if you're able, to please rise.
Adonai Sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanורא, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei B'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo B'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Hako Atah Rav Ve'Hoshia, Mechalkei Ohayim B'Chesed, Mechayei Hako Berachamim Rabim, Solomech Noflim Ve'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato Lishnei Ahar, Michamocha Ba'agivurot, Umido Melach, Melech Meimi, Umechayeh, Umatzmi at Yeshua, V'ne'eman atal ha'ayot ha'kol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei ha'kol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yaharu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. You may be seated, and you're welcome to join me in this reading. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Now take a few moments of silent prayer, using the words here on the screens. The words in our prayer books are just as good, whatever words may be in our hearts this evening.
Shalom,
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I was very, very alone. It was me, a bunch of boxes, and a small apartment in New Albany. That was it. I just arrived here on the shores of Columbus, Ohio. I didn't know anyone, and frankly, I wasn't quite sure what I was doing. I was nervous and experiencing some severe culture shock coming from Los Angeles. The Midwest moves at a completely different pace. I had never seen a cornfield. I did not know what a buckeye was. I'm sorry. And people would smile and say hello when I walked past them, which was unheard of in LA. The TBS community embraced me almost immediately, but feeling rooted here took much longer. As one does, I eventually downloaded the dating apps, and soon after, I was in the midst of a fun conversation with a guy who would eventually become my husband. But then, life took us in different directions. We ended up seeing other people, and it wasn't until 2 years later, in 2019, that we restarted the conversations that we paused 2 years ago. It is strange to think about what our lives might have been like if things had turned out differently. What if we hadn't had those 2 years apart? In this week's Torah portion, Akev, Moses takes a similarly nostalgic look at the Israelites' freedom from Egypt and the last 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. He says to the Israelite people, "Remember the long way that the eternal your God has made you travel in the wilderness these past 40 years in order to test you by hardships, to learn what was in your hearts, whether you would keep the commandments or not." Moses says, remember these years, these 40 years, because they are your origin story. In those 40 years, one new generation is born, another passes away. The Israelites face huge challenges, warring tribes, prophets trying to curse them, and big mistakes like worshiping a golden calf that ignites God's anger almost beyond repair. The Israelites are not the same people who left Egypt. 40 years in the wilderness shaped them from slaves into a nation. Moses reminds them that this long way becomes the central story for the people to know who they are and who they hope to become. So if you'd like, think back to a season in your life that may have felt like a long way. What hardships did you face? Who helped guide you through it? Did you change because of it? Maybe in a myriad of ways? Rabbi Dr. Tamara Eskenazi notices something surprising about this passage. If God leads the Israelites into the wilderness to discover how they will respond, then perhaps God doesn't already know what will occur. The journey wasn't a scripted lesson with a predetermined outcome. It was genuinely unfolding for the Israelites and maybe also for God. Many times, traditional ideas of God uphold that God is omniscient or all-knowing and perhaps puts hardships in our way to teach us lessons. Frankly, I personally can't believe in a God who gives us challenging or even tragic circumstances to deal with just to teach us a lesson. However, our text may be suggesting something different, maybe a little bit more nuanced. Perhaps God does not or cannot override the laws of nature or human free will, but God may be found in the kindness, compassion, and support we need to overcome the hardships we face, that we find in others and maybe within ourselves. One of the gifts of retelling our stories is that it softens our certainty. In this sermon, Moses remembers his brother Aaron differently 40 years later. As you may remember, Aaron gives in to the people's demand to make an idol, and he collects the gold to be melted down into the golden calf. But as Moses now recalls this story in Deuteronomy, he mentions Aaron only once, about him interceding on Aaron's behalf. So perhaps Moses was protecting Aaron's reputation since he is now gone. I like to think that maybe Moses has greater sympathy for the position Aaron was put in, taking care of a panicking people while Moses was gone up on Mount Sinai for 40 days. Maybe Moses doesn't want the people to remember the one bad decision Aaron made. Time gives us distance and allows us to appreciate what we've gone through differently and maybe have more compassion for ourselves and for others. If you'd like to return to that long way you thought of before, perhaps now you can ask yourself if any of that rings true. Do you think about that time differently? Perhaps you're in a long way right now and may need some time for that first. That's also okay. Now, I would never complain about having more time with my husband, but looking back, honestly, I wouldn't erase those 2 years. I didn't see it at the time, but I had my own long way to get through. At times, I was very, very alone. But those years also gave me my own roots here in Columbus, in this congregation, and also in myself. I don't think they were sent to teach me a lesson, but they became an important part of my origin story when Michael and I found each other again. And of course, our son Elijah came into our lives at the right time too, and that is its own long way for another time. At the end of his sermon, Moses looks ahead to the people's next chapter of their journey, the Promised Land, as he describes a good land, a land with streams and springs and fountains issuing from plain to hill. He reminds them of the abundance of the Holy Land compared to the wilderness and says, "When you've eaten your fill, give thanks to the eternal God for the good land given to you." These words eventually become the basis for Birkat HaMazon, our blessing after meals. Our tradition does not ask us to be grateful for every hardship, but it does invite us to notice moments of gratitude that could exist even alongside the great challenges we may face. So think back one more time to that long way, if you'd like. Consider moments you may have experienced unexpected kindness. Perhaps there were ways you've discovered strength you didn't know you had. Maybe you were inspired later to be more compassionate or vulnerable or more kind. I know not every long way ends like mine that I described. Some journeys leave questions that never fully resolve, and I have my own long ways like that too. But even then, time can deepen our compassion, reshape our perspective, and remind us who walked beside us. Moses shares these insights with his community, but he never entered the Promised Land himself. Even so, he could look back over the long way and see how it mattered. Remember the long way. We are always on a journey, and we don't always know where the next step is going to take us. But we are the ones who make meaning from it in our reflection and in our telling and retelling of our stories of who we are. May this week's portion remind us of the strength that we have drawn upon, both from the challenges we have faced before and from those our ancestors before us have endured, and that whatever journey we are on, we never ever walk it alone. Shabbat Shalom. Speaking of journeys and walking alongside those who may very much need some support, we'll now turn to our Misha Beirach prayer and hold in our hearts the many in our community who are in need of healing, of body, of mind, of spirit, many named here, and of course many whom we know who are also in need of this support. We're thinking of Margie Block, Lindsay Brilson, Marge Serrani, Keith Clark, Bruce Cohen, Stephen Cohen, Mitchell Eisenberg, Marilyn Friedman, Alan Goldberg. We're thinking of Tina Goodman, John Golden, Debbie Hiltbrand, Natalie Hollis, Richard Holsinger, Judy James, Beth Jasolowitz, Karen Carlsberger, Richard Kraut, Dan Lang. We're thinking of Mary Luckton, Kathy Matthews, Mary McDonough, Minna Melton, Nechama Michaela Batshena Chava. We're thinking of Brian Mason, Ian McKellar, Naomi Miller, Frank Murdoco, Lisa Pena, Jeremy Phelan, Marcy Phelan. We're thinking of Ian Phillips, Steve Prower, Richard Pristowski, Jessica Rathkopf, Aidan Riggle, Willa Warbaugh. We're thinking of Louis Rosenberg, Maya Rossio, June Sahara, Tirza Sander, Ralph Sauer, Yafa Schnitzer, Gino Schifrin, Eliza Sinkinson, Lou Supplewitz, Rachel Vieira, Sonia Walker, John Wasserstrom, Harvey Weintraub, Jerry Young, and Ozzie Zimmer, as well as the names of anyone else whom you would like to share this evening in need of healing. For each of them and for anyone in need of healing, including those here in our midst right now, we'll sing together, Yishaberach.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And let us say,
We'll now begin concluding our service, first with Bayom Hahu. On that day, God's name shall be one. I'd like to invite you, if you're able, to please rise as we turn to Mourner's Kaddish. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope dream to be an O to lose, a thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love what death has touched. We first are recalling those whom we have lost within these last 30 days and are observing Shloshim. We remember Sherry Naiman and Jerry Bennis. We're also recalling those whom we lost at this season in years past as we remember Martin Alper, Irene Braverman, Myron Cohen, Violet Cohen, Hilda Dreyfus, Nancy Frank, Joan Gerson, Sally Goldberg, David Hirsch, Hope Horn, Zachary Judas, Luda Caden, Luda Kagan, Fanny Lansky, Frank Miner, Luis Murray, Alvin Roth, Sheldon Sachs, Toby Sanders, Frida Schneider, Maxine Schwartz, Sydney Schwartz, Charles Sugarman, and Isidore Wise. If there's a name of someone whom you are remembering this evening, you're welcome to share that name aloud or just think of them in your heart.
Irving Rose.
For everyone, all of our loved ones whom we are remembering, and for all those who have no one left to say Kaddish for them, we'll recite together these sacred words of memory. Yit Gadal ve'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah ve'alma divrach hirutei ve'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kari ve'imru amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ulalmei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'asei shalom, alenu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony and wholeness on high bring peace to us, to all who are in mourning, to Israel, to all the world. And let us say together, amen. You may be seated. I'm happy to invite Bobby to share some announcements with us.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please join us in the mezzanine after services for a light oneg. Looking ahead to next week, August 7th at 6 p.m. is our popular popular summer, I should say, Shabbat, sprinkler Shabbat. Fun for the kids. We're going to have a kosher-style dairy dinner. So please join us for that next week, August 7th, 6 p.m. Later in August, August 23rd, a Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. is our popular annual Welcome Back TBS Fest. It's an opportunity for the TBS community to connect at the end of the summer. We're going to have a bounce house. We're going to have a Kona ice truck coming and a lot of other surprises. So it's going to be a lot of fun, August 23rd, 5 to 7 p.m. Shortly after that, September 4th, we kind of start to launch into the High Holy Day season with Slichot Shabbat, September 4th. That's a Friday at 6 p.m. The August-September issue of The Window is literally printing downstairs and will be hitting mailboxes and inboxes really soon. So for all of this and more, we got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Shoot us an email, give us a call. Happy to answer any questions. With that, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for making TBS your Jewish home. Rabbi.
We'll continue with Kiddush and Motzi. The mood for some Manischewitz? No? No takers? Really? Last call. Are you sure? Manischewitz? Okay, all right. Then please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Horei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'alav ratzon hikilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit Yom Tehillah Lamikra Kodesh Zecher Letziat Mitzrayim Hivanu V'charta Yotanu Kidanu
maybe some more takers for challah, perhaps. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen. First, all towards the. Okay, great. Just grab a piece and pass it down. I'm going to pass you the whole thing.
To a land that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lelilach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lachilach. Lachilach. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lelilach, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat chaim, l'simchat chaim, l'simchat chaim, lelilach. And you shall be a blessing, and you are a blessing. And you shall be a blessing,
The Simchat Chaim, to the joy of life. May we find each of that, may we each find that this Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. That concludes our service. Please join us in the mezzanine.